Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Pages, Pictures, and Panels, where you can come to get all of your comic book, movie, news, and needs. I am your host, Tildy Yen, with my co-host, Roach Boy Red.
What's up, guys?
And today we are bringing you a host of great topics, including World War Hulk. There's a new Hulk movie coming, guys. Are you as excited as we are? We definitely got some Loki updates to bring you, and our third topic is escaping me at the moment. Loki, what was it one more time?
Spiders, all things spiders. We got some No Way Home topics to talk about, some deleted scenes. We got some rumored castings of Gwen Stacy in the MCU. We got some rumored stories of her in the SonyVerse. We even got Madam Webb confirmation. So, yeah, some mind-blowing spider stuff. The Spider-Verse is only getting bigger since No Way Home. Uh, but I figure let's start off with the big green rage monster himself, and let's talk some Hulk. Uh, I know we've seen recent rumors online about him thrashing through a lot of Marvel's heroes. Uh, a lot of deaths, a lot of fucking mayhem. I was just
Yeah.
looking at the World War Hulk comic book, and I mean, he beats people down like some of these heroes to the point where they're going to be fucked up for months. I just
Yeah.
reread where he fights the Fantastic Four. He
Yeah.
single-handedly
Yeah.
beats all of them. He fucking smashes Mr. Fantastic flat. Like, it's insane, bro. And I don't know. It's easier for me to feel okay with that in the comics because it was well deserved. But
Yeah.
god damn it, I'm willing to look past a lot of shit with these characters. I love them so much in the MCU. So like they're gonna to have a pretty good justification for me to be okay with Hawk just beating on my favorite fucking characters in not just comic history but movie history now.
I can't wait to see it, man. I hope personally, I'm hoping that like this is like a gateway movie to start introducing some characters. Like it's the World War Hulk storyline, so maybe we can get like the introduction of Hercules in this timeline, or
I would
or
I
go
would
ahead.
love Hercules, and I'm kind of hoping he's part of Thor Love and Thunder and we just don't know it yet based on like
Yeah.
how like Russell Crowe's playing Zeus in that and whatnot. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm hoping that's where we see Hercules because if he shows up in World War Hulk, he's showing up just to get hurt, man. Man, that would be sad. The person I think would be a great introduction in this movie would be the Sentry. Uh,
Yeah.
in Marvel Superman, crazy as shit. He it took him to come to blows with the Hawk to stop that fight in the comics. They
Yeah.
ended up knocking each other out at a stalemate. It was insane, and like we've been waiting for this level of character for a while. We thought it was going to be Captain Marvel, and then
Yeah.
Thanos really put the hands on her, honestly. But so at that point, I don't know. I think if anyone's going to stop the Hawk when he's Savage Hawk, anyone can stop the Hawks we saw in Infinity War and Endgame. But if he goes back to this Savage World Breaker Hawk, they're gonna
Yeah.
need some new blood to fucking take him out because even Thor is not taking out the Hawk at his current capacity.
No way. No
Uh,
way.
that granted, that stands to be seen. Thor: Love and Thunder, we might get fucking Rune King Thor, and if we have a Thor with the Odin Force and Nordic rune magic, he will he will probably tank the Hawk, and that would be a good way to end it if they don't introduce Sentry. Uh, but the weird part about the movie is a lot of the earlier confirmations of the movie describe it as a father son story, like a father son road trip. And
Yeah.
in the comics, he does have a kid with one of the aliens who he teams up with in the Planet Hawk storyline. She's part of a group called the Shadow People. Can't remember the actual race, but they end up having a kid who is not human. He is Hawk and transforms into like a shadow warrior version of the Hawk, and his name is Scar. Spelled like Sakar the planet without the first A. So it's just Skaar. But
Yeah.
and I think it would be cool I'm assuming She-Hulk might be the start of that setup, so we're not just thrown into a left field Hulk story. And it would be
Right.
cool if it's revealed he has a kid, or he decides to go back to Sakaar at the end of the series. Like,
Right.
I wouldn't mind that. It would be nice transition, real subtle, and wouldn't take away from the She-Hulk series. But other than that, it's it's gonna be hard to understand how like excuse me. It's gonna be hard to understand how a father-son road trip can turn into fucking the Hulk obliterating Black Knight and Cersei. Like it's
I mean,
uh I feel like we're gonna get a lot more in the future and well not even I feel like we know we're gonna get a lot more in the future and I can't wait. I hope we don't have to wait too long for a little more insight on that. We've been waiting for a good Hulk solo movie for a while, and Ragnarok was almost that. But the
what if
universe.
the death of Scar thing?
Wait, what's up?
What if the heroes somehow in Hulk's mind lead to the death of his son?
That's
Like we,
that. That's what I was thinking, or potentially killing his wife, because that's what happens in the comics that spurs him to come back. There was a bomb put on the shuttle that they sent him to the planet with.
yeah. See, that's what I mean. Like maybe the heroes do a bad thing to the Hulk, and Hulk just is like, "Fuck this shit. I need to take a stand," and he takes that stand.
And that would be something we'd understand if these people kill his family.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got to do something. You can't just let that go. So
Either that, or it would be even crazier. I was thinking about this. What if they kill the Hulk and Scar is the fucking Hulk that we get thrashing through the heroes?
uh, man, I got mixed feelings.
I love Mark Ruffalo's Banner. I don't want him to go, but based on the Shanky post credit scene, he's old. He has gray hair and shit. Like he still has the fucked up arm even. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know what that Hulk is doing against the Avengers even.
But I mean, like something's gonna have to happen. He's gonna have to have some type of transition or grand awakening. Who knows? Who
Yeah,
knows, man?
I mean, he's doing crazy shit in his current storyline in the comics. Written or I haven't read most of it, but a guy that I know, Ryan Otley, he is the artist for the book, and he is essentially he went through like Iron Man had a fucking space portal built in a giant Iron Man suit that kind of looked like Master Mold from X-Men, the Sentinel leader, but and like Hulk goes through that and like meets a different universe's Bruce Banner, and the story's not done right now, but he pretty much is he's going on a rampage where Bruce is essentially piloting the Hulk like a ship.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah,
That
it's insane, bro. Like I don't know, like the Cosmic Hulk interactions have gotten crazier and crazier since Planet Hulk, so honestly, there's so much more possibilities than I could have ever imagined, even when Ragnarok came out. Like that was our
yeah,
Planet Hulk storyline. And based on what we saw in that, there that doesn't help us at all with what this World War Hulk could be. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, this is one of the most exciting uh Marvel announcements we've gotten in a while for me. I've been waiting for one since fucking Ed Norton kind of he played a really good Banner, but like most Hawk movies, there's too much Banner. uh Hawk doesn't show up till like halfway through the movie and that and shit. And we the Universal's rights reverted back to Marvel now. So that's why they announced World War Hawk when they did. And I'm so excited to see what Kevin Feige and the Marvel team do with it because it has not been in good hands. I wouldn't say both movies are bad, but they are not what I want from a superhero flick.
right, right. And that's like universally the, you know,
Get it?
that's the sentiment between everybody. Like we it's not that we hate those movies or anything like that because it's all that we had for forever now, but it's time for us to get a proper
We've
Hulk
tasted fine wine. We don't want to go back to drinking Vlad.
at, at all. So please bring it in and pour it thick.
That's a
Please and
fact.
thank you.
Uh, I guess in closing, I am definitely excited for this movie. I can't wait to talk more about it with you. I can't wait. I want to do a deeper dive into his fucking smash session on the heroes. We can definitely
Yeah,
discuss that in a later episode and break down the specific leak we saw and cover them all. And that might be fun. But
yeah.
on that note, we actually got some concept art and deleted scenes from No Way Home recently announced, and actually, one of the concept arts is Doctor Strange fighting against Mysterio at the Statue of Liberty, and like
Huh.
that would have implied that it was all an illusion originally, and Mysterio would have ended up getting revealed at the fucking Statue of Liberty, and then him and Doctor Strange would have like partook in a battle, but I don't understand how that works. If he just has these drones, that is nothing compared to Doctor Strange. So I personally feel like that would have been cut because it would have been an ass beating.
Yeah, it wouldn't have made much sense. And I wouldn't, I don't know, it would have cheapened the whole movie if it was all an illusion and none of it, like, I don't know. I wouldn't have liked that. Would
Yeah,
have
and
cheapened the
behind the scenes, a few writers and producers and different crewmates were talking about how a few members of their original Sinister Six, which they wanted actually six in No Way Home, a few of them were lost along the way, and they didn't really expand on that at all. But
yeah.
it it sounds like that was the main reasoning that Green Goblin actually ended up the main antagonist himself because they didn't use any new villains. And who's the baddest of the old villains, man? Norman fucking Osborn.
Of
So
course.
that makes sense, but uh I guess my thoughts are where were these characters lost? And my first idea in that regard is Craven. Craven the Hunter might have been fucking decided as a solo production. And Sony was like, no, no, no. Deal's off if you think you're using Craven.
I wonder, man.
Yeah, that's a hard one. I was thinking like it could be Craven. Potentially Marvel traded off Vulture so that they could use him in Morbius. And even Scorpion. Scorpion was last tied to the Vulture, and he was so obsessed with finding out Peter Parker's identity. And I thought about this the other day. The Vulture wouldn't know anymore. So Scorpion would really be like up this guy's ass trying to figure that out because he thinks he knows, but the spell wiped his memory, so he really doesn't anymore. So I
Yeah.
feel like with Vulture is going to be coming Scorpion. Uh, I always like the idea of the majority of the Sinister Six being composed of animal villains. It's always
Mhm.
funny to me. It's always an octopus, a vulture, a rhino, a scorpion. We have so many different. Even Venom is a spider. So like I like the idea of these characters all running together and then they link with Morbius, who's a bat, and this is all leading up to the next film, which is Craven, the Animal Hunter. So like I think it would be cool if Craven in the Ultimate Comics, Craven shows up filming a reality show. It's like Man versus Wild, but he hunts
Yeah.
the dangerous game in the world. And his like finale episode, he goes to New York and is like, I'm gonna hunt the most dangerous prey, Spider-Man. And like that would be an awesome way to do a Craven movie if it's filmed like documentary style, but it's Craven going on these hunts of these animal-based villains, and then at the end, Spider-Man shows up and is like, bro, it doesn't matter if they're villains, you're still fucking trying to kill people. And then puts the beat down on Craven. Craven gets his fucking moment where maybe we think he kills Spider-Man, like Craven's last hunt in the comics. And I don't think it would be a good idea for them to do that because that ends with Craven's suicide. But it's also the most compelling Craven storyline ever. So
Yeah.
like it would be weird if they didn't capitalize on that.
I'm gonna put the paintbrushes together.
Fair enough. I need I need more news as far as the Craven talk goes. I need to grip in more with Aaron Taylor Johnson. I have a bad taste in my mouth with Quicksilver and stuff, but
I loved his Quicksilver. I just hated that he died so early. Uh, from there, we can dive into our next exciting confirmation that we've gotten recently. A Madam Web solo film. Boy, uh, what's her name? Dakota Johnson, the girl from 50 Shades of Grey, is cast as her, and I'm guessing it's going to be some sort of origin story. Maybe how she gets tied to the Web of Destiny and stuff. But
yeah,
if she's like a defined Madam Web and stuff, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. I like Madam Web being an old lady. I always said Helen Mirren, and I always loved your idea of Viola Davis. So I don't know how I feel about this young girl being her. Her acting chops, I'm not familiar with really any of her work outside of 50 Shades of Grey, and I've only even seen that once. But I'm definitely excited. I'm wondering what could be her story in the movies that would make her like tied to it all outside of the Web of Destiny. And
yeah,
if it's all based off the Web of Destiny, I can almost guarantee that that is absolutely just a setup. It's opening the door for the Spider-Verse. The Web of Destiny then connects all the spider totems, which is the Moreland story I was talking about, the guy who kills the different spiders, uh,
yeah,
which would be a perfect way to lead to a fake Peter death in like the storyline Spider-Man the Other. But it would be
nice.
cool because then you can kill Spider-Man off in her movie, and then by Spider-Man 4 he can come back.
Good work. This
And
could definitely.
I wouldn't mind that because the story's not the best in the comics. It doesn't even make sense how it happens. He like goes into a cocoon to regenerate. Spiders don't use cocoons, man. So, uh, yeah, it's definitely weird to me. But I, like we always say, Marvel's never done us wrong. And I know this is a Sony product, but now, well, Marvel's dipping their fucking pen in that ink with Sony at this point. It's not just Sony anymore. And I think that's amazing. I hope that nothing goes wrong with that. I know a lot of things tend to go wrong behind the scenes with Sony involvement. But
Yeah,
also our final confirmations, and then we can move on to a little bit of speculation and rumors we've heard in the Spider-Verse. Uh,
yeah.
Olivia Wilde is directing and starring in a Spider-Woman solo project, which I know flashback to our episode on Secret Invasion. Uh, I talked about how I wanted the introduction of Spider-Woman for Secret Invasion, and
Yeah.
I think it would be cool if they introduce her character in that still, but as a Skrull, and then this show picks up with like either her picking up the pieces of what the Skrull did with her life, or her origin story leading up to the Skrull taking over
Yeah.
her. And regardless, we don't really have much information on that. I like Olivia Wilde. I think she would make a good Jessica Drew, and that that definitely it sounds promising. It's a Sony product, so you know we always got to worry. But really,
Yeah.
do we? The only bad ones so far have been the Venom movies, and they've still been enjoyable as shit. Uh,
Yeah.
but other than that, Sinister Six movie is still in production. It has been since 2018. Uh, they gave confirmation like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, maybe, that it was still in production. They're waiting for a specific director who is currently engaged in other projects, and they're like adamant on that director. So
Yeah.
that'll be exciting when we finally find out one, who it is, and two, when it is, honestly. But other than that, our final spider topic is we want to talk Spider-Gwen and Mary Jane. Uh, what are your thoughts on that? We don't really have much on it. We've had rumored castings of Anya Taylor-Joy in talks to play Gwen Stacy in the MCU, but
Hmm.
We don't have any SonyVerse confirmations for anyone, Mary Jane or Gwen. Uh,
Yeah,
it would make sense that Spider-Gwen would be Emma Stone, but also I don't know how that would go over in the modern age, like her being a superhero compared to the love interest. She was a very soft, uh, compassionate Gwen Stacy compared to like what I picture Spider Gwen as. And I would personally, I'd like to see Haley Steinfeld come back as her. I know she's Kate Bishop, but she voiced Spider Gwen in Into the Spider Verse, and I think she could do the role live action. She's got like
I agree.
the personality type for it. But
Yeah.
that's about all the information we have on that. But what are your thoughts? How would you like to see Spider Gwen introduced in the SonyVerse, and how do you think they're going to move on with the love life of Tom Holland, Peter Parker in the MCU?
Um, I think the MCU is gonna. I'll start off with that. I think the MCU is gonna take a different approach. I don't think we're gonna get Gwen Stacy and or Mary Jane. I think they're done with the whole MJ thing. If it's not going to be MJ, his MJ, I don't think they're going to go Gwen Stacy because clearly I believe Sony has plans with that character, and it wouldn't make sense to have dueling roles of them. It just I just don't I don't know. I mean, you could do it because of the multiverse, but like again, they went kind of the other way with Zendaya, period. So like, you know what I mean? I just felt like they're kind of getting known for that, like going this way instead of that way. So I think that we're probably going to get Felicia Hardy. That's what I believe. I think that we're going to go Felicia Hardy. We're going to get a Black Cat before we get any type of Gwen Stacy there. Um, just so we can continue the Spider Gwen stuff over here. Now, as far as Spider Gwen and Mary Jane goes, um, I think that Spider Gwen is going to happen. I think that I could definitely see Emma Stone doing it if you mix her portrayals of Gwen Stacy and her character from Zombieland, maybe. You know what I mean? Like tougher, a bit more ragtag, and it depends on how dark they want to take it, or how realistic they want to take it, or how much of an approach. Or I think that she has the range. I do believe in her range. Yeah, I have full wholehearted belief in her range, and I think she could do it. However, I think Haley Steinfeld doesn't hurt anybody on screen, so that could also work. But yeah, man, like I'm very excited for the future of anything Spider. You know that, so
That's
that's
it's funny because like we had the opposite thoughts for the MCU and the Sonyverse. My thoughts were the future of the MCU Spider-Man would be since No Way Home's ending really gave us the impact that, or gave us the impression that he was going back to his comic book roots more than just being this weird MCU Stark Jr. Uh,
yeah,
I kind of expected them to end up introducing Peter's first love, which is Gwen Stacy, and his first best friend, Harry Osborn. And
yeah,
I think it would be kind of cool if they dropped those characters to us because even Emma Stone wasn't like comic book Gwen Stacy. She was pretty amazing. She was amazing. Like she was the best part of Amazing Spider-Man 2. Her death is one of the saddest moments in any Marvel movie ever. But so I definitely I think it would be cool to see them like do a comic accurate Gwen, and I would love to see a good Harry Osborn. I did not like James Franco in the role, and I can never remember Chronicle Kid's name off the top of my head, but
Dane DeHaan.
yes, uh, but he was I don't know. I did not like him as Harry. He felt more like a goblin. Wow, he was human. So uh, I would love to see that. And then the flip on that, I kind of wanted to see Felicia Hardy in the Sonyverse with Andrew Garfield because it's a darker universe. This Spider-Man, he has stopped pulling his punches. He became bitter. Uh, so he might be down with a little bit of crime and fucking cat burglary and shit. And he's definitely going to be down for it if his fucking lonely ass is getting some nookie out of the deal.
Yeah,
But so I think it would be a real good opportunity to bring her in. Also, back to my stick I was on earlier with Craven, that's another animal based character for him to hunt. And
True.
I love that idea. I think it'd be cool to see him fucking tear through the Rhino and her uh, being the probably the weakest of the animal characters. But
Yeah.
and I would think Andrew Garfield would do well with. I think any female character he could probably interact with well. He did well with Felicia in Amazing Spider-Man 2 and whatnot. And I
Yeah.
would love to see Felicity Jones come back as Felicia, actually. Uh, other than that, man, I don't know. The future's open and just vast, just huge. We can get anything at this point. Uh, we might not even see any of them. Andrew Garfield might just be a lonely son of a bitch for like his return to the screen. But
Very
I think it would be cool for him to get. He needs some love, man. He deserves it. I love that guy as Spider-Man, and he needs that happy ending. And he got closure when he's not a failure because he saved MJ. But now he
yeah.
deserves his reward for fucking succeeding finally. And I think a love interest would do that well. And I think if my hopes of Daredevil and Spider-Man teaming up in the MCU is going to happen, they
Yeah.
should keep the vibe of Spider-Man abandoning Peter Parker's identity for a while. I think it'd be cool to see him go off on his own personally. I want to see some superhero team ups. He'll have way more time if he's just a reporter and a superhero. He doesn't have to have a family. He doesn't have anyone left. No one remembers him or they're all dead. So, like,
Yeah.
him and Daredevil abandoning who they are. Daredevil abandoned Matt Murdock through season 3. So, like, he's
Yeah.
also just Daredevil. But
It's insane.
yeah, I would love to see that team up, and I think women get in the way. We don't need Karen Page, we don't need Claire Temple, we don't need Gwen or Mary Jane. We just need superheroes doing superhero shit. Thor Ragnarok style.
Hell yeah.
But
That's
I guess our final point of discussion is we got some updates on Loki season 2. Uh they've confirmed that they're set to start filming in summer of 2022. Which, given the Disney Plus show's production time and post production time and whatnot, it should
yeah.
be about a year until we're seeing that then. And that's actually not far off. I expected that uh, solely based off the fact that Kang is obviously going to be a problem in Loki season 2. So it kind of has to coincide with the release of Ant-Man 3.
Yeah.
But other than that, we did get the production release schedule based on the cycle of title releases, we can expect to see both Echo and Ironheart debuting around the same time, given a month or two. And
Hmm.
it seems like nowadays they're just going to Disney Plus is either going to have like a Star Wars show or a Marvel show at all times. They're just going to fill those gaps with shows to keep us having content year round. And
Yeah.
I think it stems from the fact that they lose a lot of subscriptions and stuff during the off seasons of these shows. So like
Right.
if they keep pumping out this content, they'll keep they'll keep all their subscribers. So we pretty much have a slate for 2022 lined up, and 2023 is actually starting to fill out very pretty quick. We have Secret Invasion, Loki, Ironheart, Echo, uh, Obi-Wan. Yeah, we just have so much, and then like all the other Star Wars projects like Ahsoka, Mandalorian season 3. It's it's looking like a full schedule, so it's getting exciting that we're starting to get to the season where we know every Marvel fucking product that's coming out. And I know the
Yeah.
movies they like to keep under wraps more, but I appreciate the crumbs fucking Papa Feige throws at us to fucking allow us to have this Disney Plus schedule at least. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm definitely excited for the future of all these projects. Hulk sounds amazing. All these spider projects are just getting crazier and crazier. It's like we thought No Way Home was leading to Doctor Strange, but it's leading to its own fucking Spider-Verse beside this multiverse of madness. Like, this is crazy. And
Pretty much.
this is more than we could have ever asked out of Marvel. Back when the MCU started, this fucking company was on the brink of bankruptcy. And
Yeah.
it's insane to see where we've come, that they're like the most profitable company outside of the Pokemon company.
We're getting all of that we wanted for years. Everything is happening. Everything's coming back. Everything's possible. I'm excited, brother. I'm so excited, and I know you are too. Yeah, man, I can't wait. Loki season 2 is on its way. We have our complete slate for this year. Next year is filling up. I'm excited. You got my take, man.
Yep. And with with those announcements, that brings us to, I guess, the end of our episode then.
Pretty much, man. So my name is till the end. This is Roach Boy Red.
And you guys have a good rest of your day.
Peace.